not start the game, and if you were one of those at King's Cross, you can sympathise with that. The game, though, is going to start in just a few minutes' time. Let's get a final thoughts from David Platt, and you first of all, Les Ferdinand. Do you think the Gooners are going to do it tonight, Les?
I think they will. I'd like to see them win tonight, but it won't be an easy game for them.
And David, I think you're pretty confident about Arsenal this evening.
Yeah, I think they've made Wembley their home in the last couple of years. They've played a lot of games here, and like I said, tactically, I think the open spaces suit them. I fancy them to win quite comfortably today. Would you look for? I mean, it's good to see David Seaman back there. Of course, he missed the game on Saturday. Would you be looking for a big game from Mark Overmars here, perhaps? I think the front three are very, very important. Overmars, Bergkamp and Nicholas Anelka with the pace. I think hopefully Dennis can play well today and open the defence up. OK, there is a terrific atmosphere inside Wembley now. Once again, our apologies for the delay. Let's join Kevin Keegan and let's hope he's still there. Peter Drury. Evening, Peter.
Jim, good evening. Belatedly. This was, of course, club football's most famous haven of neutrality. Until tonight, 9 times in the 90s, Arsenal have visited Wembley and shared it. Tonight, others visit them here. 10,000 Greeks have taken up Arsenal's invitation, and 60,000 Arsenal folk are here just because it's home. It's unique, certainly. Inescapably, it feels special, and somehow reserving absolute judgment until, of course, the ball has been kicked. To me, Kevin, it feels right.
Yeah, it's a tremendous place to play football. A super evening. Wonderful pitch, it always is here at Wembley, and a little bit of excitement because we don't know that much about the Greeks.
What we do know, strangely enough, is that Panathinaikos and not Arsenal have played continental club football here before. They were beaten by Ajax in the European Cup final of 1971, but Arsenal's players are hardly likely to suffer from unfamiliarity or, given recent results here, unease. They haven't been beaten outright at Wembley in 8 games, 7.5 years. Here is the Arsenal side, and after all the Hillsborough hullabaloo, you don't have to look at those names for too long to realise that not much unsettles them. David Seaman is back from injury, Lee Dixon's back from suspension, only Ray Parler's ankle has proved an insurmountable problem, so it's a season's first start for Remy Gard. The other 10 write themselves in. That late Lens equaliser a fortnight ago means that Arsenal have now failed to win any of their last 7 matches in Europe. Panathinaikos, contrary to prior expectation, won their most recent European match, so they lead Group E. It's to their detriment that top scorer Christoph Barschika misses this trip with a training injury. Norwegian Frank Strandli, once briefly of Leeds, is his replacement. You'll know the former Derby midfielder Alyosha Asanovic. You may not know the target of many of his passes. Nikos Liberopoulos has scored on all 3 of his European outings this season. Among the Greek subs there, Kolistidadis is one of 4 in the squad who have played at Wembley. For Arsenal, Christopher Ray is one of 6 who scored here, 7 if you allow Nigel Winterburn his penalty in a Charity Shield shootout. It didn't look a happy bunny a short while ago for Spaniard Antonio Lopez Nieto. It is now a second Wembley appointment. He oversaw England 2, the United States 0 in September 1994. He also spent last match day 2 at Old Trafford for Manchester United 3, Juventus 2. A game along similar lines would not be unwelcome. Dennis Bergkamp scored spectacularly for Holland on this ground 5.5 years ago. Since scoring spectacularly for Holland in Marseille nearly 3 months ago, he hasn't scored at all. And Kevin, you would think it was due.
Yeah, well, he's too good a player not to score goals, but there's no doubt about it. You can talk about burnout and all sorts of other excuses, but he hasn't quite started this season yet. But you know he's a talented player. It could be tonight, and we're better than Wembley.
So Arsenal Football Club welcomes you home to Wembley. Well, some of the win or bust talk has been a bit precipitate, surely, but with Kiev to come next and Arsene Wenger considers them the group favourites. It would certainly inconvenience Arsenal's chances of progress if after 2 games they didn't have more than 2 points. Remember, 12 points was only just enough to make Juventus a best runner-up last year. Who was suspended for Panathinaikos' 2-1 win against Kiev 2 weeks ago, and picked up a yellow card in each of the qualifying games against Star Bucharest. Vieira, muscularly towards the edge of the penalty area, away by Konstantinidis. And now Asanovic, once of Derby County, more recently of Napoli, and an arrival in Greece during the summer. He was relegated with Napoli from Serie A last season. Milojevic, the Yugoslavia's sweeper in the Greek side. This is Liberopoulos. Remigard, Dixon, Bergkamp.
I think Remigard's got a very important job to do here tonight because he's got to replace Ray Parlour. Parlour has become a very important player for Arsenal. He's improved so much, and Remigard's got a difficult task to replace him, but there's no doubt he's got the ability to do that.
Winterburn, and now Mark Overmars for the first time on the evening. Petit and Tony Adams, who must know this ground as well as any current English player. Milojevic with the slightly uncertain header away, which gave no chance to Kostas Kiassos. And it's an Arsenal throw-in, which Overmars was in a hurry to take. And Nelka, lovely turn. And then a pretty good shot in the back. Gumas was the offender, Anelka offended against. And Arsenal were the first chance to create.
Yeah, wonderful turn here, this from Anelka, that's his strength. And I think he's very lucky not to get a yellow card here. But look for him doing that, Anelka. I think he's a real handful, and the slippery surface will suit him.
Dennis Bergkamp has yet to score this season. It's his free kick, it's Tony Adams! It was horrendously close.
Well, he's walking back there and he's disappointed because he knows one thing. Arsenal should be 1-0 up. This is a great chance. He has to stoop a little low, but nevertheless, you feel he should have scored. What a great ball from Bergkamp. Poor defending from the Greeks, though.
Adams off the mark in one massive game recently for Arsenal this season against Manchester United. He has scored 2 Wembley goals in the past, for England against Holland and for Arsenal against Spurs in an FA Cup semi-final, and he will feel that by now it should be 3. Apostolakis, Liberopoulos, Kiassos couldn't keep it in. Patrick Vieira is a man under the spotlight in more ways than one right now. Likewise, Martin Keown. Dixon.
Yeah, Martin Keown's certainly under the microscope, but I really feel, I think a lot of people in football, talking to players in my club, feel that the sending off he got at Hillsborough was totally unjustified and should be wiped off.
It certainly feels that way. Majority support. 17 years to the day since Arsenal last met Panathinaikos. Ryan Talbot scored the only goal of a UEFA Cup first-round second-leg tie, and the colours went through. Bergkamp making progress, Milojevic across, Arsenal's first corner. Keown naturally is forward. Adams also is forward. Petit with the whip left foot. Deeper one. Adams again was prime suspect, but Banchik is 6'5" and every half-inch counted. 53 caps for Poland, this man. Although none of them, funny enough, despite all of the Anglo-Polish meetings, have come at Wembley. Liberopoulos and now Kiassos, galloping up from wing-back. Overmars between him and the box. This is Mikland, the Norwegian. it is this man, Eric Mikland, who pulls so many of the strings in tandem with Asanovic. Mikland turning, this is Apostolakis. Mikland tried to slip it through for Strandley. It's broken back for Liberopoulos, but call an arm, and it's Arsenal's clearing free kick. 3 goals in 3 European games for him. He's a big English-style centre-forward going.
Yeah, he's a good size. He looks fairly strong, and obviously he can score goals. He's proven that. But the pattern's already set. When the Greeks get it, they'll try and knock it around and take the pace out of the game. But Arsenal have started lively, and they've already looked like they can cause the Greeks problems from set pieces.
David Seaman's ribs have repaired themselves sufficiently that after being an absentee at Hillsborough at the weekend, he's back between the posts. Asanovic. Lagonikakis. This is Frank Strandley, beaten to it by Keown, then Vieira, and now Anelka. Gumas with the first test of pace, Anelka has beaten him, Bergkamp is square, and Anelka went for the near post, at which Joseph Banzik was well stationed.
Well, this is a great ball from Anelka, and the pace, from Vieira to Anelka, he does very well. I think he's right to shoot, the goalkeeper shows him a little bit, then gets a foot in there. Very good save.
Partido again. Aimed at Adams again, and gathered again by Vanchuk.
I think they've got to keep the crosses away from this guy. He's about as tall as you can get for a goalkeeper at 6'5", and he seems to be able to use his height pretty well.
They call him the Mountain, and that nickname didn't require too much imagination, you wouldn't have thought. Here's Nigel Winston. Overmars. Channel into which neither Bergkamp nor Anelka was running. Lagonikakis. Konstantinidis. Adam short for Petit, and there are yards in front of the Frenchman, and there's a Dutchman short of him too. He's Overmars. Remy Gard, the recipient of a glorious pass. From which he abjectly failed to profit. Adams. Too long for Vieira. Apostolakis. Chiassos. Liberopoulos calling for it, Winterburn shutting the door. Any signs, Kevin, that the delay has made any difference to the way it's settled down?
No, I don't think so, but it's never a good thing for both sides, really. As a manager, you build the sides up so that just as they're going out the door, they're ready for the job ahead. And then someone comes in and says there's a 10-minute delay, and that becomes 20. It's very difficult to go through the routine again. But I think both teams have shown us in the first phase of this game that they're up for it. Obviously, you would expect that.
Bergkamp certainly is. Won it well. Points perhaps to prove over the short term. No one doubts how wonderful a footballer he is, but he's on his way back, or so he hopes. This is Winterburn. Overmars. Taking on Chiassos. Away though by Lagonikakis. And watched over his shoulder by Tony Adams. Keown for Gard. Konstantinidis had a bit of Bergkamp's shirt. Gard took the free kick quickly with a rolling ball and from the wrong place. Apart from that, the referee was entirely satisfied with it.
I think Bergkamp was saying there, hold on ref, we change shirts after the game normally. But Bergkamp has so much respect from defenders that they have to get hold of his shirt sometimes, and they get away with it. When they don't, obviously, shows the referee, although there's been a delay, spot on there, he's on the ball.
Vieira for Overmars. Wasn't quite canny enough to get away from Asanovic. This is Mikland. Apostolakis. Chiassos. Ball is about to pick up pace over a zippy surface. Rain heavily just before kickoff. Overmars is a zippy player who makes use of such a surface. Anelka awaits his cross. And the hurdle, but it ultimately came for Overmars, proved to be an illegal one. And he earns a free kick in a position rather more advantageous than would be a corner.
Yeah, the last time we had a free kick from this sort of area, of course, Adams had that chance from that superb delivery from Bergkamp, who's on the ball again.
And Adams, of course, is forward again, and Petit's in the box, and Keown's in the box, and Vieira's back post. It's Petit trying to get the near post touch, but all in vain. Manuel Petit, who's had a birthday since turning out last in Europe for Arsenal in Lens. He's turned 28. He, of course, one of 3 players already sent off for Arsenal this season. Winterburn winning the throw-in off Frank Strandley, who does have in his past a game against Arsenal for Leeds, a 0-0 draw at Highbury 5 years ago. Only played 14 games under Howard Wilkinson. Adams, good looking ball. Anelka, good tackle from Gumas. New recruit to the national squad since the failure by Greece to qualify for the last World Cup. Played against Slovenia in a 2-2 draw at the start of European Championship qualifying a week or 2 back. Keown. Adams for Overmars. He'll take the outside route. Petit. Winterburn making a run, and a good run. It's Nigel Winterburn! Oh! What better example of the attacking fullback?
Well, he shows tremendous, great ball this from Petit. And he gets away. The only thing that's right, the keeper comes out very quickly and makes it difficult for Winterburn. What a lovely ball.
And what an immensely intelligent run. His last goal for Arsenal was more than a year ago. Stunning winning, you may remember it, a 3-2 win for Arsenal at Chelsea. Winterburn again, tail up now. Patrick Vieira, whose alleged shenanigans in the Hillsborough Tunnel on Saturday were veritably laughed off by Arsene Wenger yesterday. Mountains and molehills were very much to the core of his thinking. Guard deemed to have gone in with too much zeal on Asanovic. This is Apostolakis. Chiassos wide. Liberopoulos in the inside right channel on the ball now. And Winterburn, at least a partial safety. Gonikakis. Mikland. Tackled by Vieira. Bergkamp inside, and Nelka ahead. This is Dennis Bergkamp. And now Nelka. Gumas between him and goal. And Nelka's shot. Looping deflection, which, if anything, eased the keeper's plight.
Yeah, he just took a little too long over that, didn't Nelka? But what great play from Bergkamp. He saw that Nelka had run offside. He delayed the pass, waited for him to come back, showed all his experience, then it knocked a great ball into him.
Arsene Wenger said of Dennis Bergkamp only yesterday that he felt it was coming back. Signs of that against Manchester United, even in defeat at Hillsborough. A seed that perhaps started to germinate in Lens, albeit that the sharpness of finishing, which in years gone by we've taken for granted from the Dutchman, perhaps has still to return. Vieira. Kostelakis, Sanovic. Kostelakis, 96 Greek caps, his nation's record holder. And one of two in this Panathinaikos squad who was involved when Greece last played at Wembley. They were beaten 5-0. That was a warm-up for Greece ahead of the 1994 World Cup in America, where of course they flopped rather badly. Nastily beaten by Argentina and Bulgaria. That's Partido. Oh, really good-looking ball. Overmars. Overmars with the cross beyond Bergkamp. And out last off Lee Dixon for a goal kick.
Plenty of encouragement in the early stages, though, for Arsenal, not least from the pace of Overmars. Wonderful little ball. Again, it's Partido. And he's one against one. He's in the box. And it's only the final pass to Bergkamp that's just a little too high.
Lee Dixon back from suspension. He's another of this season's red cardees. Mikland. Sanovic. Partido with hugely determined and well-timed tackle. Up in the air by Gumas. Round for Kiassos. Kostelakis tried to give it him back. Thoroughgoing challenge from Partido. Free kick.
You have to have a little snigger when you think that people... The one thing they said against Partido was probably a bit too soft to play in England. He's proved pretty well up to it on the physical side, hasn't he?
Wouldn't have thought that was his major problem.
No, certainly not.
Mikland for Liberopoulos. Strandley in front of him. Liberopoulos with the shots.
Well, the shot was disappointing, wasn't it? But look how good his feet are for the size of him. He must be out 6'3". Wonderful turn. Shot with the left foot just over.
He was captain of the Greek under-21 national side that reached the final of the European Championships in Romania last year. Minutes gone at Wembley, no goals, and if that time check doesn't tally with the one perhaps you were expecting at this stage of the evening, we were 25 minutes late kicking off here because of all sorts of travel problems, There was a hold-up at King's Cross, apparently. Only 45,000 of the 70,000 were in the ground at kick-off time, and the police deemed it sensible to wait. Both fullbacks getting forward early for Arsenal. In pre-match discussion, it was deemed that the overlapping wing-backs for Panathinaikos would pose a problem for Arsenal, but if anything, Winterburn and Dixon have proved more attacking hitherto.
Certainly, Winterburn's got forward a lot. Dixon hasn't had the opportunity, but Remigard still hasn't found a way into this game, and they're just missing the influence of Parlour a little bit in these early stages.
Vieira missed out to Asanovic. Kostelakis. Well read by Adams, that's what he's all about. Vieira, Anelka. Adams has continued his run and has stayed forward, and had Anelka picked out Overmars, then Arsenal had a man over. It wasn't to be. Kumas. Kiassos for Liveropoulos. Winterburn straight at Vieira. Throw in his Arsenal's. The second anniversary of Arsene Wenger's appointment as Arsenal manager. He's taken some stick, naturally, in the events of the weekend for his disciplinary record. 15 red cards in 2 years in charge. But you can hardly detract from what he's achieved, which has been...
If you look at the trophy cabinet, it looks okay. He's done tremendously well. He's got tremendous respect in the game in this country. He's brought some new ideas and they've worked.
Unnecessarily conceded corner by Arsenal. It's the first that Panathinaikos have earned perhaps in inverted commas, because there was minimal pressure. It's one that Arsenal have given away. Asanovic is going over to take it with a left foot that regulars at the baseball ground, Stadium of Light, came to know and love. Pride Park, I beg his pardon. Asanovic over the corner. And Adams glad to watch it out.
Well, for someone with a wonderful left foot, and he has got a wonderful left foot, that was a pretty average corner. Surprisingly, the Greeks only had 4 players in the penalty area, the total penalty area. That shows you that they're really a little bit scared of Arsenal. They're expecting a little bit of pressure tonight, and they're on the back foot a little.
Just seeing those Panathinaikos fans, it's worth pointing out that just about all 10,000 of those were in the ground within 10 minutes of the gates opening. They were up for this okay.
I wouldn't think there's many Greek restaurants open tonight, certainly not in London. They're all here.
Smash a few plates though if their side get the right result. Funny enough, many Panathinaikos fans who live in London are also Arsenal fans, so they've got a few mixed feelings. Konstantinidis. Strandley ahead of him. Konstantinidis keeping going. It's a strong man that gets through a block tackle from Patrick Vieira. Adams, Overmars. Bergkamp inside right, Anelka inside left, Adams back post, Overmars running at them. And still he kept it. Anelka, Vieira, Remigard. Guards cross, Adams back post, Kumas with the clearing header, and Adams penalised for a shove in the back.
A little bit better from Remigard here, great cross, but Adams is just a little bit too far away. He does actually, it's a good decision by the referee. A little bit of a push trying to reach it with his arms.
Kostelakis, Asanovic. Kiassos, Liveropoulos, Kostelakis. Panathinaikos. Kostelakis, Mikland, Asanovic. Dumas, Mikland. Showing a lot of it to Partido, who's strong. Bergkamp, 3-on-3 just for now. Konstantinidis held him up. And Bergkamp has a free kick. Partido for Dixon. Nice turn from Anelka. Equally good tackle though. Milojevic. Strandling. Guard in half. Vieira. Winterberg. Aimed at Anelka. Behind Bergkamp, but he hasn't given it up. Mikland away from him. Guard profiting from Petit's challenge in the centre circle. Winterburn again. Adams. Mikland beating Vieira in the tackle. Panathinaikos. T down on his knees. Guard finally finding space and Bergkamp. And now Anelka. Anelka into the box, Gumas across. He's looked a good defender, Gumas, hitherto. And he was the last defender then.
He certainly has, and the one thing he has got is he's got a lot of pace, and he's going to need that tonight against the likes of Overmars and Anelka, and even Bergkamp, who's got a fair turn of foot.
He's another from the best Greek under-21 side they've ever turned now. Several of them actually played at Carrow Road last year in a memorable game, which they lost 4-2, but qualified for the finals of the European Championships on away goals. Remember Emil Heskey getting a couple for England that night. Kostelakis. Panathinaikos. Strandly nearest to him. Panathinaikos has had a go. And he's given Seaman his first major test of the night.
Terrific strike, but you'll always expect David Seaman with his quality to deal with it. But he takes no risk and he knocks it over the bar. Good save. I would think the shirt with his name on costs more than the actual shirt.
At a £5 or a letter it would have done.
Certainly.
It's Asanovic though with the corner. Konstantinidis is forward. Liberopoulos near the penalty spot. Asanovic in, Vieira away. Overmars. Or Nonley. Could afford to stumble and still find Anelka. Bergkamp is charging forward, so is Vieira. It's an awkward back pass. Vanchik made the best of a bad job. And Arsenal will have to come again. Liberopoulos denied them the chance. Mikland has it now. Asanovic. Kostelakis and Kiassos. Let it go. Keown got it away. Petit trying to cushion it for Overmars. Little perilous that near to the penalty area, but Kiassos couldn't gather, and Petit has it back anyway. Arsenal are actually the fourth English team to play a European club game at Wembley. West Ham blazed the trail in the 1960s with a Cup Winners' Cup final against Munich 1860. That's Guard with the ball forward and Alper offside. In addition to them, of course, there was the famous Manchester United final of Best and Charlton, and Brian Kidd got a goal. It's a good decision, as you see. And then the last British scorer on this ground in a European club game was Kenny Dalglish, no less, for Liverpool against Bruges. 20 years ago, is it really?
Yeah, and what a tremendous finish it was. It was typical Kenny Dalglish, one of the great goals, I think.
All in all, it's the 8th European tie at Wembley. 1963 European Cup final was the first, and the first to score in such a game, no less a star than Eusebio himself. His Benfica team lost 2-1 in the end, though, to AC Milan. Forward by Milojevic, back by Strandley for Liberopoulos, and Strandley and Liberopoulos, and Winterburn closing him down. And Liberopoulos still finding space for a shot, which might have been much more than half a yard over.
Well, he did very, very well. Great link-up play between the two forwards. Strandley gives him a great pass back. There's a lot to do, though. He doesn't panic, and he gets a great strike. He looks a very, very useful prospect. He's young. He's obviously very keen. He's tall, but he's got that tremendous extra ability that not many tall people have. He's got very good feet. Moves the ball nicely and decent pace.
With the party piece. Well run though for Arsenal by this man on the ball, who was brought to earth, Winterburn, and felt he should have had a free kick, but the referee was well placed and close enough to deem that Winterburn was not harmed, and that Chiassos has been.
I think he was very unfortunate not to get a free kick there. Although he was well placed, it doesn't mean to say that he's made the right decision. And I felt the momentum that he was going forward at Winterburn, and he got a nudge, and it was a free kick in a very dangerous area, but not given. Well, who knows? Maybe he got it right, maybe he didn't.
Bergkamp.
Be interesting when they get the videos and get to that stage. Still have a job sorting incidents like that out.
Games will never be over before midnight. Anelka, Guard. Seemed to me he took neither ball nor player. Keown. Guard. His first start this season, Remy Gard. He did turn out, though, in the first team in the 0-0 draw at Chelsea. Came on after Lee Dixon was sent off and Arsenal had to reshape.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like it's his first start as well. He's a little bit rusty, as you would expect. What a game to come into for your first start as well. The European Cup game.
Postelakis. That's real vigour. That's Strandley. And this is Liberopoulos, for whom it was the least convincing strike of the night.
There's a trainer saying, I could have done better than that, but make no mistake about it, this guy's full of confidence, and he'll keep having a shot. Great run. Very strong. Right through the area. You've got to be strong to go through it. Wonderful run. Keeps going. Past Petit, again, showing good strength. Little pass. And only the shot lets it down.
Adams away from Liberopoulos. Winterburn. Overmars. Taking on and beating Chiassos. And now intent on doing the same again. And doing so. Overmars cross. Oh, Remy Gard. And eyes lighting up. Denied his first Arsenal goal by the intervention of Andreas Lagonikakis. Overmars had done so well.
Oh, he done brilliantly. Impish skills, good delivery, but great defending from the number 11.
Gard with the corner. Aimed again at Adams. And Nelka's in there. Away though again by Lagonikakis. And now Strandley's in a position to break. Only Winterburn was back for a short while then, but Keown has got back. And Vieira, by fair means or foul, has denied any route to goal.
Well, I think it was foul means, but certainly there Strandley did very, very well. He broke out, sold a good dummy on Bergkamp, then realised there was nobody with him, and like all good forwards, held up the play.
Kostelakis with the free kick, aimed at Liberopoulos. He's taken it away from Gard, given it to Lagonikakis. Liberopoulos. Back to Asanovic. He's played here for Croatia in a 0-0 draw. Actually faced the Greek press yesterday as the captain of Panathinaikos in the absence of Varshika. But I noticed, just as a point of order, that actually Kostelakis has the armband and led the team out. Here is Kostelakis, captain for the night. Asanovic. Forward by Gumas. Over both Keown and Liberopoulos. Dixon. Bergkamp. Gard wide. Bergkamp went himself. Overmars with the darting diagonal run. He's taken a defender away. Bergkamp's filling that space. Winterburn's gone wide and Bergkamp has been fouled. Konstantinidis. Elbow for elbow, shoulder for shoulder. Just too physical. Shirt for shirt.
Shirt for shirt as well. He's been a big Arsenal fan and he's promised to take his son's shirt off.
Manjic is organising a wall of three. Winterburn, Bergkamp, and just short of those Overmars, the three candidates. It is to be Bergkamp, and then Vieira, and still Vieira, and still. And now Winterburn. Winterburn's cross, Vanchik away, back in by Gard. He might have had a pop, you know.
Knocked it over about 4 or 5 heads, then a wonderful ball from Overmars. Difficult for the keeper, and this was a real chance. A lot of bodies between him and the ball.
Stranded. Asanovic. Lagonikakis. Aimed at Liberopoulos. Away by Adams. Awkward for Keown. Back in by Strandley. Adams did well second time also. Mikland. Konstantinidis. Asanovic. Yassos. Oh, Winterburn. Well, he took plenty of ball. He was absolutely free if the referee had let it go. But maybe the player first. With the clearance. Strandley, hugely industrious to keep it in play, since his prospects of making anything of it were pretty remote. Keown. Winterberg. Involved a great deal inside the first 40 minutes. T. Overmars. Shove in the back from Kiassos. Or before half-time for Arsenal would fit the bill very nicely. Adams. Overmars. Winterberg. T. Nice for Bergkamp. Bergkamp's holding it up. Overmars is in here. It's Mark Overmars. It's Nicholas Anelka. It's off the line. It had to be, and it wasn't. Back in by Keown, and the flag is up.
Well, they might not go in at half-time 1-0 up, but they'll never come closer. Great play, good goalkeeping. He must score. Great defending on line. They never gave it up, the Greeks.
I have a feeling Gumas was the hero here. This was a good save. And there it is, Gumas 8, who's on the line, together with Mikland to clear. He's had an outstanding game so far. Never come closer without scoring, and at 60 years of age he must be wondering whether he needs all this stress. Apostolakis.
It's amazing how a little bit of goalmouth incident gets the crowd going. It was very, very quiet. Suddenly after that wonderful play from Bergkamp and almost goal from Overmars, they're really making a noise here at Wembley.
It's Asanovic over the free kick. Lagonikakis is wide of him. Apostolakis just in field. Gumas is forward. Liberopoulos is also a natural target, likewise Strandley. Asanovic to the back post, away from Liberopoulos as far as Kiassos. Konstantinidis, up in the air by Adams, further away by Vieira, who's fouled for an Arsenal free kick, which Partido's taken quickly and wisely, and Bergkamp is onside. Bergkamp shots! One day he will ripple a net again, and that day is drawing closer.
Well, I think they got away with murder where they took the free kick from, but take nothing away from the vision of Petit. And Bergkamp, we've seen him score goals from there. He's not quite going for him at the moment, but this is a near miss. Doesn't quite catch it how he wants.
Fantastic spot from Emmanuel Petit. Kiassos keeping it in. Apostolakis, Mikland. Overmars held it up nicely for Petit, who's won it nicely for Bergkamp. Flags up. And Anelka was in the clear.
Very, very tight decision, but possibly right. But Arsenal have started to just turn the pace up a little bit this last 5 minutes of this first half. And I think that's what they've got to do the whole of the second half, because there's no doubt about it, this Greek side, they turned over Kiev in the last round, the first match they had, and people were surprised. But when you see them play, you can probably see why.
Fourth official telling us that only 1 minute of stoppage time will be played. After all, kicking off 25 minutes late, they can't afford too much more. All the tubes will stop running. Keown. Winterberg. Cleverly away from Liberopoulos. perhaps Arsenal's last chance to ring before the break. Down on Overmars. Keown. Dixon. Again, Martin Keown. Anelka peeled off deep and then lost it. Adams forward. And continuing to go forward. And Overmars seeking him out and Bergkamp offside.
Yeah, Bergkamp's offside, but it's Adams who it should have been played for. He would never have been offside. I'm not even sure Bergkamp was, actually. But Adams has added that to his game since Wenger come, it seems. He plays that ball so many times and goes on.
Half-time at Wembley Stadium. No goals. There might very well have been one inside the first minute. Tony Adams appearing unmarked and unnoticed on the back post with a diving header from Bergkamp's sumptuous free kick, just wide of the post. Furthermore, Arsenal might have scored when Nicolas Anelka had a clear strike at goal, but somehow that man, the outstanding defender on the night, certainly for Panathinaikos, Ioannis Goumas, scrambled it away from off the line. Arsenal with many more opportunities to score, but they haven't, nor have the Greeks. Half-time at Wembley Stadium, it's Arsenal 0, Panathinaikos 0.
A bit of a problem at King's Cross and they couldn't get the crowd in the ground. No goals half-time, Dynamo Kiev against Lens, the other game in this group. Comments so far, Les Ferdinand.
I think Arsenal will be disappointed they haven't gone in 1 or 2 goals up. You know, they've created some good chances, just unfortunately not been able to take them.
David?
Yeah, I think the game's gone quite well for Arsenal, really. They dominated proceedings. Having said that, they have to stay aware because the Greeks have looked very, very dangerous when they've been in possession and they've got in and around the box. They've got 1 or 2 players that can create things.
All sorts of chances, one in particular just before half-time. Terrific goal line clearance.
Yeah, fantastic hold-up play by Dennis Bergkamp. Little back heel there. You think Overmars is going to score. The goalkeeper makes a good save. And Anelka comes in there and you think, it's 1-0. A great goal line clearance.
David?
Yeah, I think Mark would have expected to score. The keeper's done well, and Nicholas has come in, to be honest with you, and he can't do nothing more than hit the target. It's great defending. I think it's typical of the Greeks' performance. They've worked very, very hard.
Goumas getting it off the line. Early in the game they created all sorts of chances, didn't they, Arsenal? A bit like Lens a couple of weeks ago. I reckon they might just pay for missing these, you know. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, Tony Adams is a free kick that they've worked on before. Tony's scored many, many goals from this position, and I think he'll be very, very disappointed that one's not got in.
Good run from Anelka here.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Nicholas has got that unbelievable pace. He's away here. You can see how much ground he's made up. His strength as well. You know, seeing this live, you thought he might pull it back, but the defenders are in good positions there, and I think the goalkeeper's done well again. And similar here, I don't think Nigel really expects to get there, and the keeper's done well again, coming out at him quick, and Nigel can't do anything more. It's unfortunate that it's flashed across the side, the face of the goal there.
End of a very good move, that, and I think they'll be preaching patience above all else down there, won't they, Les?
That's right. You know, they've had 2 good chances. I mean, the 2 angles, the Nicholas Anelka's and Nigel Winterburn's, they had 2 chances. The angles were pretty tight for him, and did well to get it across there.
Sure. We said right at the start of the show, though, beware those Greeks. They're not a bad side, and David Seaman had a couple of moments, didn't he? This is Lagonikakakis.
Yeah, I think it takes David by surprise. He's a long way out. And when we first saw him hit it, we thought it was going to hit the corner flag, but it ended up being a great strike.
And Poulos at the end of this one, who they think very highly of in Greece.
Again here, the 2 strikers linking up well. We thought he was going to hit it first time, but he's taken his time and hit a good strike. Unfortunately, it's gone over for him. But they've shown they're dangerous on the break.
Sure, absolutely. Did you feel that Arsenal, I mean, you said before the start you thought it'd be an easy night for them. It's not proved to be that way. Do you think it's still going to be Arsenal's night, David?
I think they will. I think they'll, Arsenal will be in there now, and I don't think he'll change anything around formation-wise, but he might just ask one of the midfield players to get on a little bit more and create some space for Dennis, Nicholas and Mark, who are being marked very tight at the moment.
Sure, quickly from you, they're missing Ray Parler?
Yeah, I think you know, most of their attacks have come down the left side. Most of their positive attacks have come down the left side. You know, with Ray on the other side, usually he gives them outlet down the right as well and causes a bigger problem.
Okay, all right, thanks guys. Of course, the second half coming your way live here from Wembley. I must just tell you though about our new regular lunchtime football show, On the Ball, on ITV every Saturday lunchtime with Gabby Yorith and Barry Venice.
On the Ball's back on ITV.
That was the only problem of the money for the transfer.
Maybe Christian Gross wasn't the right man for the job at Spurs, but is 10 months enough time to judge any man?
It's a good watch On the Ball every Saturday lunchtime here on ITV. No goals then in the first half here. They have had goals though in Munich, Manchester United playing Bayern Munich, and we will show them to you when you rejoin us. Hello there, welcome back to Wembley. The second half looming, Arsenal against Panathinaikos. No goals in the first half. A delayed start here because of problems for the crowd getting into the stadium when the game should have kicked off at 7:45. There were just 48,000 people inside the ground. The police said, you got to wait. They kicked off at 8:10 instead of 2:15. That meant we had a little look at Manchester United playing in Munich. We saw a Manchester United goal. There have been two others, and here they are for you now. Manchester United then taking that lead in what Manchester United are doing in Munich. And let's return to our commentary team, to Kevin Keegan and once again Peter Drury. Peter.
Thank you, Jim. The first news to bring you is that there is no news. No substitutes at half-time. Arsenal and Panathinaikos are as they were. Arsene Wenger, having exercised his cerebral skills and no doubt his rhetorical ones as well, has decided to stay as he was. Tony Adams as close as anyone to scoring for him in the first half. Panathinaikos in 6.5 tries have only ever scored one goal against English opposition, but that one was enough to eliminate Everton from the 1970-71 Champions Cup. And acknowledging Arsenal's first half superiority, but having seen them fail to convert dominance into a win in Lens, you do just hope that there won't be another out of the blue. That, without wanting to appear pessimistic, Kevin, would be the one concern.
Yeah, definitely, but I think Arsene Wenger's right to leave it as it is. They've not done a lot wrong. They've been pretty tight at the back, as you would expect from Arsenal. They've been inventive in midfield, but they haven't really created enough chances in the first half. I think the Adams header and the one chance late on, which fell to Anelka, I think, that's about it. So they'll be looking to put a little bit more pressure on the Greeks.
Milojevic heaving it forward. Livaropoulos is the intended recipient. Adams was right in his pocket. Emmanuel Petit, who nearly put Bergkamp into excellent effect right at the end of the first half. And Anelka, good-looking ball. Overmars making a run. And guards darting ball into the penalty area, didn't meet it. He slipped one, and now he's slipping Livaropoulos, and he's finding the error, and now it's Lee Dixon, and Guard is wide, and Dixon has employed Guard. Petit is kick was by Gumas. Well, he was outstanding before the break, but you're only as good as your last kick. And that wasn't a great one. It's a corner.
You do feel it is from corners where Arsenal can cause major problems. They have got a terrific record from corners in the past, and they've got some height in there. And of course, good delivery is the key to these set pieces.
Adams on the penalty spot. Arm upstretched. Overmars with the corner. Clearance as far as Dixon backtracking. Winterburn alone in the centre circle. And back to square one. Guard for Vieira. Bergkamp. Guard sandwich and an Arsenal free kick, which they're lucky to get, seeing as Bergkamp rather miscued his crossfield pass. Winterburn. Overmars. Winterburn coming to help out, tumbling over Liberopoulos. His was the majority of the first half threat. And even in attacking terms, Nigel Winterburn was an occasional threat for Arsenal. Milojevic, Mikland, Apostolakis came to guard. Showed a lot of it to Apostolakis. The former Greek captain couldn't find the ball. Overmars. T. Vieira. Keogh. Tony Adams. Overmars. Well read by Lagonikakis. Apostolakis. Asanovic. Kiasos, who started the second half on the other flank. He and Lagonikakis have swapped over.
One of the major changes in this competition has been the league system. There's no urgency for Arsenal to get a goal and build a lead for the second leg. 1-0, last 10 minutes will do, and it's changed the way these games are approached, I feel, and sometimes to the detriment of the game.
Vieira with the ball forward, and Milojevic, the sweeper, sweeping. He always had Nicholas Anelka in his pocket. His clearance was that's what Mr. Daniel would have required in his third spell as the Panathinaikos coach.
Well, he's kept one promise. He said they wouldn't come here to defend, and they haven't. They've taken Arsenal on. They've played some good stuff.
Overmars. Adams. Vieira. Anelka couldn't turn. Did win it back. Only for Asanovic to take it away from Vieira. Tackles by Guard. And it is a free kick for Panathinaikos.
I felt he got the ball here. We'll see it. Yeah, gets a touch. I feel it was a little bit harsh, but anything from behind now is punished. At least the referee hasn't got the yellow card out, started dishing that around like a lot of referees have lately.
Apostolakis. Veropoulos. Mikland. T with the challenge. Only one Arsenal player actually is on a yellow card after the first game. It's Patrick Vieira. For what in itself was a fairly innocuous challenge in Lens. Lagonikakis. the opposite number 11, Mark Overmars. Only that man under threat of suspension were he to have his name taken again. Apostolakis. Strandley is back post. This is Chiassos. He felt no need to keep it in. It's his corner. Same figures trundling forward. Dumas is right at the back of the penalty area. Strandley near the penalty spot with Liberopoulos and Konstantinidis. Asanovic with the corner. And a shove in the back from Dumas. Arsenal's clearing free kick. Say from the point of view of Panathinaikos that were they to get away with a draw here tonight, they would probably establish themselves as the group favourites, whatever happens in the game between Kiev and Lens.
They certainly would, because they're a terrific start then, and you know, some tough trips still to come, of course, and some, I mean, playing these in Greece is going to be a difficult game. I've played in Greece. It's not an easy place to play football at the best of times, but in a big game, when the crowd get behind them, the atmosphere is terrific, unlike most grounds in the world that I've been to.
Yet at the start of the evening, I'm told, Arsenal was 7-1 to win the Champions League and Panathinaikos was 66-1. It strikes me that those are made-up numbers. Vieira. Overmars. Winterberg. Vieira. Keown. Konstantinidis had hold of Bergkamp again, and the referee was happy enough with it. Bergkamp will want to share his laundry bill. Now Liberopoulos waiting to be liberated in the middle if the ball comes his way. Apostolakis. Strandley near post, Liberopoulos far post. Asanovic could find neither. Off guard for the throw-in.
Asanovic has been very tidy tonight. He's got a lovely left foot. He's used it to good effect so far.
Mikland. Asanovic. Mikland. Now the Croatian again, Aljosa Asanovic. Guard with the tackle. Chiassos forward from wing-back for the resulting throw-in. Konstantinidis could not give it in back. 10 minutes into the second half, still no goals. And a reminder, if you are just joining us and that time doesn't seem to make too much sense to you, we kicked off 25 minutes late at Wembley because of travel problems and congestion and fans outside the stadium at 7:45. So that caption was right. 55 minutes gone. Arsenal 0, Panathinaikos 0. Foul on Vieira by Konstantinidis. Bergkamp, the quick recipient of the free kick. Tee away from Mikland. Couldn't free Overmars. Winterburn still wants it. Nagonikakis got it away. Mikland held it up and did so to good effect. Liberopoulos. Milojevic, Konstantinidis, Apostolakis. Petit wanted it most. Winterburn, surge of noise. In anticipation of a surge from Overmars, which still may come. Bergkamp. And still Bergkamp, past 2.5 of them. The second half of the third, though, just got back. Asanovic. Well, he's done well as well, and Vieira required a physical response.
Showing good strength here. It's not just a nice left foot, outstrengths a couple. Vieira then has to pull him down. If he had a little bit more pace, he would be really a world-class player, Asanovic.
Mikland's ball in. Keown away. Bergkamp. Vieira. Dusan Ivanovic, having come from a country that finished third in the world.
Yeah, he's got a lot of vision, obviously that lovely left foot, but if you put a little bit of pace with it, then you would have almost a complete player.
Mikla. Kostelakis. Nagonikakis. Nagonikakis with a threatening ball. Seaman had a very swift decision to make there. And one suspects for fear of confusion with Adams, he let it go.
Well, it was one of those balls that no matter how good a goalkeeper you are, you just can't come for them. It was whipped with pace.
His goal is under threat again now. Konstantinidis. Kostelakis. Konstantinidis. Nagonikakis. A good challenge from Petit. Oh, well, he thought so. He thought so. The referee is going to book him for it.
Well, I think this is his first mistake. It's his first yellow card. I think he gets the ball. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that challenge, and he's so unlucky because that was just a great tackle. He's saying you're wrong, and he's right. The referee's got that one wrong.
Not only a great tackle, but what turned out to be a pass that was setting Arsenal up.
Yeah, double punishment.
And treble punishment if Hasanovic can make something with this free kick.
Well, it's a sort of distance out where you and I would have a job to even reach the goals, but
I won't get it.
I can't believe he's going to shoot from there, but it does look like he probably is. They're not putting a wall up.
It is Hasanovic. He preferred the pitching wedge to the Big Bertha. And Seaman was the bunker.
Obviously been playing a lot of golf this year.
Of a handicap of about 38. Petit. Winterburn. Offside. Not the first time on the evening that Winterburn has been the furthest player forward for Arsenal.
Well, I think they've got to get forward. They've got to win this game. The onus is on them. And I think the two managers, certainly the Greek manager, Mr. Vasilias, will be much happier at the moment.
Would be interesting after nearly 11 years at Highbury to here is Vasilis Daniel.
He doesn't look the happiest, but he probably will be.
Right. He's seen most of this with one of the big clubs in Greece. 18 times they've been champions of Greece. They were runners-up last year to Olympiakos, missed out by 3 points, had to qualify with a two-legged tie against Steaua Bucharest. Winterburn nearly ran himself into trouble there, but was fouled. Olympiakos tonight are playing Croatia Zagreb, Celtic's conquerors in qualifying. Match is being refereed for the record by David Ellery, with his English interest there. Keogh. Gar. Vieira. Adams got it back from Bergkamp. Couldn't get it through to Petit. Hasanovic. Adams for Petit. Dixon's forward and wide, and Bergkamp's near the penalty spot, and Dixon wants to pick him out. Milojevic was in the way. Dicklin's a little scamperer. England, of course, remember him. He played in a 1-1 draw here at Wembley back in 1992 for Norway. England under Graham Taylor. Remember that late strike from Rekdal that wrecked a few English hopes. Adams, Bergkamp just offside. So the flag on the far side said.
Another tough one to call. Probably just about got it right, but if you look on the far side there, it was very, very tight. And the good thing about that is when linesmen having to make decisions that are that tight, sometimes they let them go. They get fed up with putting the flag up.
Chick away from Anelka. Adams away. Overmars couldn't keep it. Nimeropoulos has it. Agonikakis. Mikland in front of him. Agonikakis had a try. Second time from range in the game, and second time erroneously. 73,435 inside the ground. It's rather more than they would have got in Highbury. When Arsenal met Panathinaikos at Highbury 17 years ago today, there were just more than 23,000.
I bet it kicked off on time, that one. Wouldn't have had the job.
There wasn't congestion. Same night, a chap called Keegan was scoring for Southampton against Limerick in a 1-1 draw in the UEFA Cup. Who he?
Now you're talking about big European games.
Anelka, Bergkamp. Anelka again, if he can keep it in. He can. Faced by Gumas. Good run from guard. He's won a corner. Not everything that Frenchman has done has turned to gold this evening, but that was a canny, nippy run, and it turned a cul-de-sac into an opening. The most famous right arm in soccer. Keown alongside it. Petit's corner. Keown up. Could come to the error, and then Tony Adams! No scorer more popular. This is his venue, where in recent months gone by he's lifted cups and shields, and now he's ribbled the net.
Well, Van Zijk's come for it, he hasn't got it. Adams may have missed the best chance of the game in the first minute, but he certainly wasn't going to miss this one that was gifted to him by the keeper dropping it. He smashes into the roof of the net.
Vieira's contribution counted for much. Adams refused to miss from there. Agonikakis. He took Winterburn out of it, and then Winterburn took him out of it. He's infuriated by the decision, and the free kick's been too quickly taken. Overmars. Bergkamp. Real chance for Bergkamp. When will it happen?
Well, one thing for sure, he's getting closer. This is better than his other effort. He gets it, good touch. Only the finish is a little wayward. Great ball from Overmars. Good first touch. But the shot 2 or 3 meters wide.
Did someone once say that a goal changes a game? Certainly changed the noise. Terrific passion about the place now. Ooh. Adams and Seaman. A little bit of a communication confusion.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Overmars. Milojevic with a challenge. And as a result with the card. And it's his second of the competition. And he will miss his club's appointment with Lens in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, he goes for it with his wrong foot, doesn't he? And the game's been played in a tremendous spirit here tonight. There has been the odd 1 or 2 fouls, but they've never been anything malicious. Players have just shook hands and gone on with it, haven't they?
Arsenal tails are up. Bergkamp is over the free kick. Bergkamp's ball in. Awkward one. Adams has kept it in. Came back to guard. is starting to think he's a centre forward. Constantly to be found in the opposition penalty area, so nearly scored early on, and now he has, and he's hungry for more. Panathinaikos. Mikland. Liveropoulos. Interesting to see whether Panathinaikos, or to just what extent Panathinaikos want to chase this. Kiassos. Aimed at Strandley. See if he'll catch those forever. And he saw Anelka early, but so did Gumas. Winterburn. Bergkamp. Overmars through the middle. Kola, the Albanian international, is preparing himself for action. Tends to play down the left-hand side, although can operate in the centre of midfield. Mikland, Strandley, Asanovic, Panathinaikos. Bergkamp, lovely touch. Anelka, Overmars onside, Vancic has come, and to very good effect.
Good goalkeeping, but this is a good spell from Arsenal now. They're looking to finish off this tie. In the next 5 or 10 minutes, I think the Greeks are going to have to be at their very, very best. There's a little bit more pace, a little bit more importance attached to it from an Arsenal point of view now. And they've just stepped it up a gear, and they look now like a side that can go on and win comfortably. Last time I said that with England, of course, I got it wrong.
Mikland. Strandley. Kola, I understand, is back on the bench, so perhaps that change isn't forthcoming. Konstantinidis. Liveropoulos. Winterburn's challenge. He's had the rough end of 1 or 2 decisions in the last 5 minutes. And this free kick is in a potentially potent position. Strandley penalty spot, Liveropoulos behind him, Konstantinidis forward as well. And Gumas. Asanovic, awkward one to defend, and it was Guard at the near post who flicked it over his own bar. It appears that Kola is to appear down the left-hand side for Panathinaikos because he's replacing Kostas Kiassos, the left wing back. British supporters will have seen him, or at least some of them, playing for Albania in World Cup qualifying against Northern Ireland in Belfast over the last couple of years. He also scored 2 goals against Germany in the same qualifying group. They lost 3-2. Here's the corner, aimed at Gumas, came out to Lagodikakis, still bouncing around nastily. Vieira's challenged, the referee's waved it on, still not clear. And Arsenal just about got away with it. Asanovic with the ultimate strike.
Yeah, the difficult ball to defend, he just slashes it back across the goal mouth, and there's a little fracas. Vieira does well to get something to it. Definitely no foul, but then it gets knocked out. He just finishes wide. Yeah, there's nothing much happening there. But a little bit of panic, nothing more.
Bergkamp. Good challenge, Overmars. Overmars! Very good touch. A shot full of vigour and desire.
Oh, great save this from Wanzik, because the one thing that's really difficult when you're 6'5" is to get down low. But he does it. Wonderful save.
Without doubt, bound for the bottom corner. From a corner such as this that Arsenal score. Petit to the near post, it's Keown! Who needs a centre forward when you've two centre-backs like that. Martin Keown with power and direction and awareness of where he was, and the love of the green, and Arsenal are 2-up.
Well, they're always dangerous in set piece. A wonderful ball in from Partido. I think he got a deflection off the defender, but that doesn't matter. Keown will claim it. And after what happened to him at Sheffield Wednesday, I'm delighted for him.
Only Martin Keown's fourth goal for Arsenal in more than 250 appearances. He'd never before scored at Wembley. One England goal for him came in Czechoslovakia. It's a distant memory. Up to date, he is his club hero. And what a week it's been. In by Kola. Out by Adams.
Amazing, isn't it, with all the Overmars and the Bergkamps and the Elkers, it's the two defenders who've scored the goals, and that's wonderful. Doesn't matter where they come from as long as they come.
And Arsenal smell more, and Bergkamp is through, and Milojevic is going back, and Bergkamp's breath on the back of your neck must be just about as unwelcome a sensation as any defender can feel. Panathinaikos train here at Wembley last night, and Vasilis Daniel spent a long time with his defensive 3 and 5, concentrating on the defence of Arsenal set pieces. He knew about Adams and Keown as well as Partido and Elka and all that height. And right now I guess he will be wondering why he bothered. Winterburn, Bergkamp, Overmars opening up, and Elka far post. Winterburn in support. Tony Adams. Agonikakis, hemmed in by Overmars, did well to get it away. Ivaropoulos. This is Kola. And Strandon. Kostelakis, Adams. Get the feeling they're starting to enjoy this, Arsenal. Why wouldn't they?
Well, you have to win a championship really to get in here, or be second now, because they've changed the rules, but it's a wonderful competition to play, and you have to pit your wits against the very best.
It's Miklin's ball through, Adams out. Arsenal have now scored 8 goals at Wembley since anyone scored against them. There was the scorer of the 8th. Kostelakis. Well won for Anelka, and Vieira's alongside, and Overmars is square. This is Patrick Vieira. Away by Konstantinidis, and further away by Kostelakis. Ivaropoulos, Kostelakis. Miklin's making a clever run and is offside. He did try to bend it. That was very close, uncomfortably so. The Argentinian Nelson Vivas, another who hasn't had a chance to come on and play at Wembley. He was on the bench for the Charity Shield. He's off it now. Keown. Petit. Guard. Vieira. Bergkamp. Kostelakis. Mikland. And the outlet is Kola. Back from Strandley. Sanovic. Kola. In all those, you could have said that Panathinaikos would be after an away goal, but really that has little impression in a league situation like this, and Arsenal are pouring forward looking for a third. It's Winterbourne's cross. Gumas again did well. Mikland. Sanovic. Bit of space for him now, he hasn't had a lot. Strandley ahead, this is Apostolakis. Sanovic. And here is the Arsenal change. Guard is withdrawn. And for the first time in his life, Nelson Vivas crosses the whitewash at Wembley. 4 games for his country, of course, in the World Cup, including one into which we won't go too deeply in Saint-Etienne. Mikland. And here is Vivas for the first time. He's found Anelka, and he's continued his run. He's desperate to have it back. Anelka's won a corner.
Good defending again from Gumas. He's been absolutely outstanding at the back. He doesn't deserve to be in a side that's been beaten at least by 2 clear goals because he has defended so well. But it's another set piece, and it's another dangerous situation for Panathinaikos.
What a great picture of those two. The very personification of brothers in arms.
Just asked, is it my turn or yours?
It's Petit's corner. It's Anelka's turn. Well, all of those missed opportunities in Lens added up to a missed opportunity for Arsenal. But those that have come his way tonight, though they haven't gone in, appear not to be quite so costly. Flicked through towards Liberopoulos. And in flicking, Strandley was fouled. Activity on the Panathinaikos bench right now. All the changes upcoming. They've got to find a way through. Kostelakis attempting to do that. Kola wide. Dixon attempting to close him down and doing so at the expense of a corner.
It's important to try something different when you're 2-0 down. One of the problems when you have so many substitutes is it's the opposite to having, when you used to only have one, you had no choice. You have too much choice now.
Kola's ball in, Dixon away. There you saw on the bench there was Sitniewski, a Paul who maybe has become involved, and it's all been pulled back with Anelka getting up ahead of steam so that the referee can book Mikland. And how Arsenal would have yearned for a bit of advantage.
Disappointing referee in this, because he's got plenty of time to let it run and see if there's any advantage, which of course there was. But you can't get everything right when you've got those referee jerseys on.
Mikland would have liked to have seen it go as well, because that's his second yellow card as well. And he won't play against Lens. Veropoulos is on his way off. And his immediate replacement is Sipniewski, the Polish striker. There he is, only 22 years old. And this is Mauro, a Brazilian player. It's his first season playing in Greek football, and he has replaced Strandley. Long towards Mauro, not by Winterburn. Come to Mikland. Adonikakis has left it for Apostolakis. And Overmars has taken it back. And Bergkamp. And Vieira. And Nelka one way. Overmars the other. Important touch from Milojevic.
That's when Arsenal are really at their best, when they start to go with pace. They really do knock it about well, and they have this advantage over most Premiership sides and European sides, it seems, in that they have pace to spare.
Sipniewski felt Winterburn's challenge. Referee was happy with it. Sanovic has the ball. Konstantinidis. Sanovic. Mauro. Adonikakis. Sipniewski. Mauro and Sipniewski and Asanovic and Adams. Can't do a thing wrong right now. And Nelka just got enough on it for Vivas to gather. Bergkamp couldn't gather it. Heading towards the last 5 minutes. Adonikakis. Mikland. Well, won by Mauro. Adonikakis and Mikland. Apostolakis. Adonikakis. David Seaman, who is 5 minutes away now from his 7th consecutive clean sheet at Wembley.
He must hate playing here. Must be fed up of pitting the ball out the back of that net. He's had very little to do tonight, but he's been quick and sharp when he's needed to be.
2 for England. Beg pardon, 4 for England and 2 for Arsenal. Dixon. Dennis Bergkamp. What 70,000 wouldn't do to see a flash of the old Dennis before the evening's out. Petit, oh, that's lovely, it's lovely, it's Overmars! It deserved a goal, the pass deserved a goal. It's when football is art.
That was a wonderful, wonderful pass. But it's not unusual to see Petit making balls like this. Why he is unlucky, Overmars, he doesn't really know where the goalkeeper is. And to be fair to the big goalkeeper, he does his job very professionally.
Sipniewski trying to creep between 2. Sanovic. Kola. Mikland. Mikland. Sipniewski. Foul by Vivas. That's the first significant impression. An impression that was felt on the shin of the pole. Asanovic with the free kick. Panathinaikos running out of time now. Asanovic in, Gumas closest to it, and now Mauro! The Brazilian has brought the Greeks back into the contest. And now it's a nervy couple of minutes for Arsenal and their followers.
Well, a good ball whipped in here, never quite cleared, but the smallest man amongst two of them, little Brazilian, gets his head on the ball. It's amazing, it's a set piece that's done Arsenal. Never used to happen. It's starting to happen more frequently now.
That is not an Arsenal goal in terms of concession. Gladly here, unlike Lens, they had a 2-goal cushion. Now it's down to 1 and they still have it to defend. Mauro's got away from Adams. So much for that 7th clean sheet. It's everything forward now for the Greeks. Their great rivals Olympiacos came from 2 down to get a point on match day 1. Here's Anelka though for Arsenal. It's Gumas with a challenge. And it's a yellow card.
Oh, I think it's certainly a yellow card. It would have been unkind to give him a red because I think there were people around him. But he's had a great night, but this is not one of his best tackles. He says he's dived, there's maybe a little bit in that, but I think if you don't get out of the way of that sort of tackle, you can end up with a broken leg.
And don't be surprised if Arsenal take a second or two over this. Suddenly they are not wallowing in the comfort zone that they were 3 or 4 minutes ago. And surprise, surprise, Messrs. Keown and Adams have stayed on the halfway line. So have Messrs. Winterburn and Dixon. Only Anelka is in the box.
I think you can honestly say they're going to have a shot here.
It's 10-1 on Bergkamp's right foot. It's Dennis Bergkamp, straight into the wall. Winterburn. Bergkamp held off by Konstantinidis. Arsenal have 2 minutes of stoppage time to survive.
Just got to keep the concentration now. It's not like it used to be. Away goals don't count double. Just keep battling away. Don't give anything silly away. And the 3 points are in the bag.
Mauro, the goal scorer. Sitniewski in front of him. They've got Kakis wide. Winterburn's gone over the meter. Siemens ball. Anelka over Mars. Anelka, keep ball will do. Vivas, the Spanish referee, and Vivas again, and Dennis Bergkamp. Konstantinidis held him off. Free kick the way of Panathinaikos. Nearly at the end of the 47 minutes we were promised by the 4th official. Mikland, Sitniewski. Free kick, Vieira's challenge, and a yellow card, and he is out of the next game. That is a blow against Dynamo Kiev, and after 92 minutes of the game as well.
And it's another dangerous situation, isn't it? Especially with this Manojanovic. They've just got to concentrate now. The last one was a little bit sloppy. They never got it cleared. Just concentrate and you get the result I think they deserve overall.
Stanovic and Kola over the free kick. Only one man back, everyone back for Arsenal. It's Kola's delivery. And it's the last kick of the evening. And it's a hugely satisfactory evening for Arsene Wenger and for his men. He knew that the Greeks posed a threat, but he found heroes in his old stalwarts in the centre of defence. Tony Adams with the first goal. Look how Vieira was pugnacious and Adams was determined. And Martin Keown with the second. Terrifically well-directed header. Little Mauro made for nervous seconds towards the end of the contest with that close-range effort. Still nothing for Bergkamp, but a sweet end to a bitter week for Martin Keown. And only consolation for that little fella. Anelka couldn't find the target. But Arsenal did twice. They have 4 Champions League points now, and no one, whatever happens between Kiev and Lens tonight, can beat that total. The Gunners have won here at Wembley tonight on their first European outing here by 2 goals to 1.
From the 2 set pieces, and it's a great result for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Tony Adams gets a few with his head. He gets a few with his right foot, doesn't he? But left foot volleys, Adams, a bit of a rarity, David.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Tony's got better technique than people give him credit for. I mean, that is a great finish. It's an absolute sweet as a nut. He's hit it. To be honest with you, I think it's Martin Keown goes up with a keeper here. Yep. Patrick gets in a shot that's gone flashing across the goal, but you're not going to get a sweeter contact than that.
Yeah, you know, it's probably the first time in the game that goalkeepers come for something and actually fluffed up and got duly punished for it. And as David's just said, a great strike from Tony Adams.
Did you detect a change in the mood of the Greeks after that one went in, David?
I think they had to open up a little bit more. I think, like Kevin said on the commentary there, you've got to go for the points in this game. You can't think, well, we'll take them back to Greece and turn the result around there. So I think they had to open up a little bit, and Arsenal had about 10-15 minutes after that where they looked as though they were going to run riot.
I mean, you've played overseas. Once the plan sort of goes out of the window, do teams find it hard to change things around?
Yeah, on occasions, but we're playing in the Champions League now,
sure.
and you know, with the UEFA games, you've always got the opportunity of taking them back to your home ground. But here, you have to win the game, and so they kept on with their pressing game, and you know they try to create the chances. But when you do that against Arsenal, they're so good on the break that it was always going to be difficult for
Absolutely.
them.
I'll tell you what, David, I'm particularly pleased for Martin Keown, who, without wishing to prejudge anything, might just have got the wrong end of a indifferent verdict at the weekend.
That's
and
right.
A terrific, rare goal from him, a great header, David.